In late 2025, Kenyan security agencies announced a monumental breakthrough in the global fight against drug trafficking. Deep in the Indian Ocean, a maritime interception had netted a staggering haul of illegal narcotics, valued at over 8.2 billion Kenyan shillings. This was a victory lap moment. But just weeks later, the operation would capture national attention for an entirely different reason. It wasn't about the success anymore. It was about the questions. Questions that cut to the very heart of trust and integrity. The story begins off the coast of Kenya, where intelligence agencies detected suspicious activity. A vessel, moving under the vast, watchful eye of the ocean, was flagged. Something wasn't right. A multi-agency team was quickly assembled. A coordinated force of the Kenyan Navy, the Kenya Coast Guard, and specialized investigative units. Their mission, to intercept and investigate. As they closed in on the target vessel, the tension must have been palpable. This wasn't a routine patrol. This had the markings of something big. Upon boarding and securing the vessel, their suspicions were confirmed in the most dramatic way possible. Hidden below deck, cleverly concealed from plain sight, was an enormous consignment. Officers uncovered 1,024 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine. To put that into perspective, that's over a ton of one of the most destructive and addictive substances on the planet. Several suspects on board were immediately arrested. The vessel, now a floating crime scene, was secured, and the multi-billion shilling cargo was transported to port under heavy armed guard. Authorities hailed the operation as a landmark achievement, one of the largest methamphetamine seizures in the nation's history. It was a clear message to international drug cartels. Kenya's waters were not a safe passage. Now, when you seize something of this magnitude, what happens next is just as critical as the seizure itself. There's a strict, almost sacred procedure that must be followed. It's called the chain of custody. From the very moment the narcotics are recovered, every gram is counted, documented, and logged. Each step is witnessed and verified by multiple agencies. Think of it as a transparent, unbroken chain of evidence. This isn't just bureaucratic red tape. It's the foundation of a successful prosecution. Any weakness in this chain, any unaccounted for moment, can cause an entire case to collapse in court. It ensures that what was seized at sea is exactly what is presented as evidence. According to officials, this is precisely the process that was initiated. The seized drugs were placed under round-the-clock, multi-agency security as the complex work of investigation began. But this is where the story takes a sharp turn. In the weeks that followed the triumphant announcement, a different narrative began to surface. Whispers started in the corners of media and spread through public discourse. These were serious claims, suggesting that something had gone wrong after the drugs were brought ashore. Allegations emerged that a portion of the massive haul, the very same drugs secured in the highly publicized bust, may have been diverted or stolen during handling. It was a shocking suggestion. Could a portion of an 8.2 billion shilling drug seizure simply vanish while under the guard of the state as most trusted security organs? Authorities were quick to stress that these were just allegations, not established facts. But the damage was already being done. The high value of the seizure and the gravity of the claims meant this couldn't be ignored. The public was watching, and security agencies had to respond formally and decisively. The official response came from the Kenya Defense Forces, or KDF. They issued a public statement to address the swirling reports head-on. Their position was unequivocal. The KDF firmly denied that any narcotics were stolen or diverted. They confirmed that the entire 1,024 kilogram consignment remained fully accounted for, safe and secure. The statement reiterated that the drugs were under constant multi-agency custody just as procedure dictates. However, the KDF also acknowledged the public's concern. They announced that comprehensive investigations were underway to establish the truth behind the allegations and to ensure complete accountability. It was a move to reassure the public that nothing would be swept under the rug. This was no longer just about the drugs. It was about protecting the integrity of the institutions themselves. So, how do you investigate a claim like this? You go back to the beginning. You follow the process. Investigators began by meticulously reviewing all custody records. Every signature, every log entry, every transfer document was scrutinized. They conducted internal assessments, interviewing the personnel involved at every stage of the chain of custody. This is standard procedure whenever allegations of this nature arise, especially in a case with such high public interest and national security implications. To move forward, authorities also sought court approval to hold several individuals for questioning. A court later granted the temporary detention of several soldiers to allow investigators the time and space needed to conduct their inquiries without interference. Authorities were careful to emphasize a crucial point of law. Detention does not imply guilt. It is a tool for investigation. At this stage, no conclusions had been reached. The process was simply running its course, as it should in a country governed by the rule of law. This case is more than just a dramatic story of a drug bust. It highlights the immense complexity of fighting organized crime in the 21st century. Maritime drug trafficking is a global enterprise. These networks are sophisticated, well-funded, and ruthless. They operate across borders, exploiting any perceived weakness in international supply chains and enforcement. For a country like Kenya, strategically located on the Indian Ocean, the challenge is immense. It's a key transit point for illicit goods moving between continents. This means that operational success, like intercepting a massive shipment, is only half the battle. The other half, arguably the more important half, is maintaining institutional integrity. Public confidence isn't just built on successful raids. It's built on transparency, accountability, and the unwavering belief that the systems in place are robust and incorruptible. When questions arise, they must be answered thoroughly and openly. Trust, once lost, is incredibly difficult to regain. So, where do things stand today? Let's summarize the official facts as we know them. The seized drugs, all 1,024 kilograms of them, are officially recorded as being fully intact and secure. The investigations into the allegations of mishandling are still ongoing. It's a complex process that takes time to complete properly. As of now, no convictions have been announced related to these claims. Authorities continue to cooperate fully with the judicial processes, including the court orders related to the detention of personnel for questioning. Security agencies have committed to providing further updates to the public as soon as the investigations are complete and the findings can be shared. In the end, this story is not about assumptions or sensationalism. It's about process, it's about oversight, and it's about the immense responsibility that comes with safeguarding national security. The initial seizure was a demonstration of Kenya's capability. The subsequent investigation is a test of its character. As the nation continues its long and difficult fight against transnational crime, cases like this serve as a powerful reminder. They remind us that public trust is the most valuable asset any government has. And that trust is built not only through decisive action, but through unwavering accountability. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown informative, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more in-depth analysis.